Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a little quick story on a transaction that I'm currently in with the house that's behind me. This house, characteristics, 3,576 square feet, 5 bedroom, 3 full baths, full pool in the backyard, and 2-car garage, as you can see right there. Great house, built in 2002. And what ended up happening is the owner of the property back in 2015 fell behind a little bit on this property on their mortgage payments. And I came and sat down with them and explained to them the different scenarios that they have with the house. And here's the details. The house at the time in 2016 was valued at $575,000. And they had a loan balance of $609,000. So they're upside down on the property, right? And they were thinking about short sale, deed in lieu, possibly foreclosure or something. And what I ended up doing is structuring owner financing. They had a payment of PITI, which is principal, interest, and taxes, for just $2,800 and some change. So I came in and made up the back payments and started taking over the mortgage payments. But I didn't do that until I actually had another buyer in line. So I found another buyer, actually a client of mine, a student of mine found a buyer, brought him to me, and I had them purchase this house behind me for how much? $625,000. Now that's 50 grand above the value, right? In 2016, we weren't seeing that, whereas $50,000 above value. You're basically just getting asking price at that point in time and year. So they paid $625,000. I required $15,000 down payment. It's a down payment, so it's non-refundable. And so that means I put 15 grand in my pocket. But out of that 15 grand, I did pay my student a referral fee, and I used some of that money to make up the back payments, and I kept the remainder. Now, the mortgage payment that I structured with these owners, or new buyers, owners slash tenants, was just $3,300 and some change. So now I have an original mortgage payment of $2,800, a new mortgage payment of $3,300. So Black Belt Investors is now making a $500 a month positive cash flow. And now the term of the year was for 5 years. So in 2016, they were actually to pay off this property or cash us out with a new loan at the end of May of 2021. That didn't happen. I actually extended it because I wanted them to really have home ownership here. They were struggling a little bit to get the loan, but the lender said that they can do it, and the lender failed. They could not get the loan. So unfortunately, just a few weeks ago, they had to vacate this property. Now, the value, as it sits, and it needs a lot of cosmetic work. There's nothing wrong with the property except for that it's outdated by 20 years. Last November was appraised for $950,000, but they are selling well over $1 million in the neighborhood. And so I am now in the process of starting the rehab. I just left with a contractor that is, demoing the property and pulling out flooring and fixtures and all that good stuff. Probably going to sink somewhere in between $80,000 to $100,000 in this property and then list it back on the market. So there's a pretty good equity position, isn't there? So if you just look at the numbers from today or last November of 950, the loan balance today is right around 560. There's good equity in this property, but I'm going to boost it up and get it up to par to where it conforms with the rest of the neighborhood properties that are all fixed up. So sum it up, Black Belt Investors made money up front with the down payment. Also made money with a monthly cash flow of $500 a month, and then a ton of equity on the backside. And I didn't use any of my money whatsoever. The expenses were paid by the new buyer, which is no longer in this house. And that's why I love real estate so much.